Afternoon everyone, so today we're at a Jeep Cherokee I think it is. So the problem with this thing was we went out to it wouldn't crank and thus it would not start. And I measured the battery terminals, I was at 0.5 volts. So it was really struggling to turn over. Even our jump pack wouldn't work, so I had to try jump leads off another car. So it's charging at the moment and we're just going to try this test. We think it's the battery's away with it, but when we disconnect this, the thing should keep running. I believe the battery has a load at this problem. I believe the battery's actually shorted out. It's actually freer, I think, yeah? So we'll put our probes on it, Roddy. You do the rigging. .28. So that's your that. Oh, how's that? Just put it onto that lead there. Just like it's taking a charge. So you can see that we're pulling 23 amps into that battery, that's quite excessive, but it still shows that the battery can take a charge. So I wonder if we've got a parasitic draw. Just cut it out, try it. So that's the key off. Let's go to lock it. The battery voltage is at 12.84. We're getting down to 2 amps. Let's just give it 5 minutes. We can actually hear a clicking coming from in this area, so it's got a well-known electrical issue, and it's like the motor in the headlights, so the lady does not lock it. So we'll need to see what the amperage draw is like when we do not lock. We're at 4 amps. Well, that's been about 2 or 3 minutes, and if it stays at that, that's why we've got a bad parasitic draw. 1.5. This is a strange one. We did go to 0, then it jumped back up again to 1.49 amps. So we have got a draw, so where it could be. So we've split the circuit. Now we can see that our draw, is on the thinner wire. So the thick wire, which we assume would go to the alternator stroke starter motor, that's good. So it's on this thinner wire, and we believe that comes up here into the fuse box, but you can see the crusties on that thing. So we're going to disconnect it there and see if our problem goes away. So we've just even loosened that up, and you can see that our parasitic draw has disappeared. So the problem ultimately lies in here. And I forgot my heat gun. What do you call it? Infrared gun. What's the connection like, Roddy? They're alright?
That's alright, yeah. That's alright, yeah.
So it's a matter of disconnecting these fuses and see what comes back. The noise is coming for this fog light. Somewhere in the back there. There's a connector there, Roddy, what's that for?
That's the fan.
That's the fan. See that we've took the chrome front panel off. Is it that? Is that the alarm system?
That's right.
Ken, that's what that's like here, alarm sounder.
Aye. That's what it's like, it's like a wee horn.
So,
That plugged in there.
I go for it, my man. So the clicking has now stopped. I believe that's alarm sounder there. There's a wiring for it. It's a 3-pin, red, a green and a black. And I believe water will have gone to that thing. That's what's our draw like, Roddy. So we jumped up and we went back to 1.4. We'll give her 5 minutes. Right, we've got lots of problems here. Switch lights. So that fuse there, which is for diesel priming, it says, is that right, Roddy?
Aye, that's right.
It says here.
Fuel priming.
Fuel priming hits corroded in the thing. That's a problem. And to get rid of this draw up here, right, I'll just watch this come down. So 1.26 is this fuse here, where it says JB power. So if you watch that, I'll then remove that fuse, and that seems to be the power to that box. So that's a 50 amp fuse. Anyway, we must take a amp clamp. Oops. We'll zero it. There we go, we can live with that. So we need to have a wiring diagram, see what's going on here, but when we've got this problem here, and we don't know, I think it's probably water within the fuse box. So there it's there. Fuse 15, JB power. So imagine that's junction box power, 50 amp. So there's the fuse box there in all its glory, and we can get underneath. You can see we can clip that cover off, and it looks quite clean in there actually. So we think our problem's probably further downstream. No, that's it, we need to connect her back up. 137, that's 1.36 amps. And we've found another fuse box. There's the other fuse box here, just at the driver's side. So Roddy's just got to start pulling them one by one, and let's watch our meter. We have a result. We're now down to 0, and Roddy the man's telling me, you know, I'll show you.
That is absolutely shocking.
Now, we have a problem with water in the fuse box, and that's that one, so.
Just got one in it.
So it's one, what size amp?
15.
15, appears that about, Roddy.
It's in there.
I tell you to start at that, you remember I said.
You got the rain back.
Revenge! So, any number on it?
Nah, just got paint number for that. The number will be in here.
You can see the water. Look at that. We don't know where that's coming from. 15 amp could be horn relay power sunroof relay power window relay. Could be. So that's a 15 amp. 10, 15. Flashers, Roddy. Is the flasher still work, lad? Oh, they're working. So it's no that. Stop lights are 15 amp. Rear wipers 15 amp. Oh, I bet you maybe the rear wiper. 17. Heated seat module, could be that. Or body control module, cluster interior lights, hands-free module, radio or and siren. Oh, I bet it's that. Roddy, I bet that 15 amps 34. Because it does the siren. That's for export only, which is us. But that does the cluster interior lights, hands-free. Does quite a lot. The fuse was about 30. That's it there. I think it's that one, though, do you?
34.
34. Is that what it says?
Aye.
And we're right enough. 15 amp body control. Body control module, cluster, interior lights, hands-free module, radio, CMTC, ITM module, and siren export only. So we've removed that fuse because of the water, but we still have our interior lights and everything else seems to be working, so we're going to leave it and see how it goes. But where the problem is, it could be, well, not be the body control, you wouldn't imagine. You'd think, see this hands-free module, hands-free module, could be that, or siren. The removal of the fuse, the radio does not work. So we'll pop it back in and see if the radio works now. So we've just put a normal 15 amp in that slot where that white thing went. It's difficult to get this thing to go back in. So you can see our radio is booted up. So we'll put the car off, lock it and see what our amperage is like now. Right, my man.
door's locked anyway.
Oh, I just open it. Use a handle to open it then. That to open?
Right, that's it.
Lock the car then, really?
That's all locked up.
Right. Well, wait. I think we found the problem. The radio's staying on. Oh. So it's got please wait and then it's looking for navigation. Just jump back in, Roddy, see what it does this. Just start her up, my man. Jeep. Oh, you. Please wait. Put the key on. I think that's what it does, the navigation thing, eh? Navigation is being activated. Please observe RTR. I'm trying to turn it on. It's clicking. Please wait. So we managed to get the radio to go off. But we're still pulling an amp and it's still linked to that fuse. So there must be something on that circuit with the radio, with these things, other things I mentioned, like the body control module. It's stopping this thing from shutting down. So Roy's got to pull that fuse. That's him opening the doors.
Right.
And there we go. Dead. So you want to look her up again, my man? Take the key out and just go into that. Now we've discovered up here that the sun visor is damp. Will you point to it, Roddy?
Right,
Just damp along there. And we reckon it's the we reckon it's the sunroof that's clogging up. The drain channels are clogging up. And it's landing right in there, down the fuse box. So we need to try and clear that somehow. But it's done some damage anyway. So we decided to follow the water into the fuse box at the passenger side here in the UK. And at the back of this is a combined, this is a combined fuse box stroke BCM body control module. So that's, I think, the computer bits, this bit in here, and it's quite difficult to get out, so we've never removed it. So what we've done, we disconnected each of the multi-plugs at the back, and they're held in with this 10mm head. And you can see these all look good. They're dry, and we can't see any green crusties. Let's see. Difficult shot. See in there? Everything's dry. There's another multi-plug there. It's dry as well. And it looks a bit difficult to remove this, so I think we're quite happy with this. So I think the next point we're going to do is do a scan, and we're wondering now, because of the siren at the front, we believe that's maybe it's no shutting down. But that's body control module with fuse box. This has been one hassle. What we've found is this is the hood ajar switch. So we're at the front of the car, and this is stuck. I don't know if it's just like a little contact switch in it, but we assume this goes up and down, but it does not move. So what I've done, I've bridged out the wires there, and we now see it can see its status as closed. So we're beginning to wonder, is that the reason that the alarm was going off? So I'll show you the scan. This is strange. So see when it's actually shut, it says its state is open. So you've actually got to look at its state going from closed to open. Closed actually means open, and open means the component is shut. Wow. Let me see, where did we see this about? Hood open switch is closed, right? So Roddy, would you disconnect that, my man? Just that on the hood. I just unclip them, lad. Right. So you see that goes to open. So we reckon that's what's causing the alarm siren to go off. So we're going to plug the alarm siren back in, even though it doesn't work. And we reckon that'll maybe cure the alarm going off and maybe make it shut down. So let's try that. Plug back in the alarm at the front. Let's see. And I think the alarm at the front goes underneath. ITM, intrusion transceiver module, it's saying 2 faults. So let's see if these clear now. So read codes. I think this is caused by it being disconnected. So they're still active. So let's clear them. Erase codes. Okay. Read codes. So that's good, it's cleared it. So active test, let's see if we can sound it. Siren. Siren, start actuation. Is it clicking, Rudy? I plugged it back in. Well, maybe it doesn't work. So it is plugged in, eh?
It's plugged in.
Aye, there is. Right, so we've been knackered. But anyway, the computer likes it. So that test clearly does not work, so we'll stop actuation. Escape out of that. Escape out of that. Read codes. So it's happy. So let's come back out of there and let's clear all the codes. Quick erase. So I cleared the codes, and the only one that comes back, oh change, we've still got 15. 15 in the PCM, the only one that comes back. Read codes. So they're all active, look at this. It's lost com, lost with ABS, blah blah blah. So let's maybe need to clear them. So erase codes. Yes, yes. Read codes. So EGR throttle, that's been there for a while, so we'll no worry about that. So come back out. We've only got that one fault. So we're good. Right, let's try and shut this thing back down. Shut down the machine. We've got our hood switch bridged out. Our alarm sounder's back in, and it's not making a noise, although it did stop making a noise. And we're still at 1.53 amps. So we'll wait 5 minutes and see if it dies. So we're sitting here waiting, and the radio started to flicker, and it's went back on. Right. I'll let you see this, what it says in this. If you look at the ignition status, it says lock. Now we have the key, and we can't remove it, but as soon as you put the key up, but in order to take the key out, you go like that, then the radio comes on, and the thing goes into run accessory position. So now we're wondering about the ignition switch, because if you put the key in your hand, it's in run accessory, that's no correct. See, it goes, we should be at locked. So that's it fully on, and then we'll crank it over. Run start. So that's a key out, that's no correct. But then again, that does say key and ignition open. But the radio's coming on.
Closed.
And at that, the radio's off. And then, but the key will not remove. That's still right, Roddy, you know. Yeah. Now we'll have a wee look at the ignition switch. We've just bridged that out using a paper clip. So best just to do away with it so it thinks the hood's permanently closed. All taped up, good as new. Stripped into the ignition switch, and that's not the problem. So we get the key in the lock positioned in there, and it shows it on the scan tool. And when we disconnect the multi-plug here, which is to the ignition switch, the radio still comes on. So I think we can rule out the ignition switch for this problem. So incidentally, to remove this cowling, it's two T20 torques. Painful to get to. T20 torques, you need a long torque. We've had enough. Roddy has. So we've called it a day. So what we're going to do is put an isolation switch in. So see that? It's got a little LED. So it'll be 2 power through and a ground to get the LED to work. We are sick and tired of this machine, and this is going to be a solution to get rid of that amperage draw. I phoned the main dealer about the switch, and it's part of the shaft. He's wanting £1,250 to replace the lot. But the problem is not the switch, because we've ruled that out. So I don't know where it is. It could be a module, but this lady just wants it back for her horses, so this will be the solution. There it's here. Right, Roddy, get the drill out. Let's go. Let's go. Oops. So here's our switch, and our 2 silver bits are. Roddy will toggle the switch. See, that thing goes open circuit, then that's closed circuit. Right. So, and then the golden bit must be a ground, because that's what it says on that thing there. Pin 1 positive, pin 2 appliance, pin 3 negative. That day, my man.
That's it.
Right, so this thing here, we reckon it's a 19mm size, because do you like our nice new spanner set? This is what Roddy got for Santa. He got it for me, and I got nothing for him. As long as he uses it and works hard. Right, so we can see that fits in a 19mm spanner set. Lovely jubbly. So the reason I bought this one, this is from Blue Spot. It comes from my wife's from artist, so 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And the fixed end at one end and the ratchet at the other. Now, I would say it's not the finest ratchet in the world, but we're no caring, we're a bit tough on them anyway. So you start it with this end and finish it with this end, but in between you can just work away it with this end. Lifetime guarantee, I don't know if I said that to you. But the other good thing is you can use it then as a ratchet. So the 19mm spanner takes a 1/2 inch, the 13mm spanner takes the 3/8, and the 10mm takes a 1/4, and there's a little 1/4 adapter for the screwdriver bits. So I'll show you. So there it goes into there, and it just you use the ratchet mechanism, it just turns, so you can flip it either way. So if you're tight for space, you can't get a ratchet in, normal ratchet, use one of these. So we'll let you know how they fare up. So we're using these crimp connectors to put in an inline fuse with a switch, an isolation switch. So you can see I got this a few years ago. I think it was out the Sealy catalogue. Never used it. So if you never use it within a couple of weeks, you're never going to use it. So there we go. We've massacred it. And we still maintain our inline fuse. And this wire's well thick enough. Connections, power in, power back out. No, that really matters. There's no polarity sensitive. 15 amp fuse in there, and there a little earth connection. So our LED works on the front panel. And we're just going to pop her in there and feed it through to there. Right, Roddy, you go for it.
Yeah.
You've not done anything today.
We'll pop it through. Right, you grab her there.
We want to go down that way. I think there's no one earth down there. Bingo. We'll put her. Right, man, try that then. What have we done with the keys? So there's a light, it must be off at that.
Right, that's it, yeah. That's the one.
Ah, but we need to earth it out first of all. Oh.
Look up there.
Oh, the battery's flat. Final bit of the repair. So without the isolation switch, we're at 2.6. We'll then go and flick the isolation switch onto that fuse and see what it drops to. So that's the car now. Now it's still at 200 milliamps, which is high. But the girl says she's no bothered. The central locking doesn't work anymore, but she never locked the car anyway. So that's no an issue. So we're down to 200 milliamps, which is going to last a whole lot longer than 1400 milliamps. So whether it comes down more or not, I don't know. Oh, there we go, that's better, eh? 110 milliamps. I can live with that already.
Right.
Go back to 2 amps. Oh, there we go. We're under 100 milliamps. That'll do us. Let it go. Well, we're now at 68 milliamps. Right. But as I said to you, the only thing about this repair, the central locking does not work. But at least we've not got a drain in the battery, nor does the radio come on. I'll just show you. So we flick that back on, the light comes on, the lights come on, interior lights come on, and we're ready to rock and roll. So. And the car still runs even when you flick that off. See that? So we'll leave it at that and let this go. Update. This switch is currently in the closed position, so don't bridge it open. Don't bridge it shut, because open is closed and closed is open on this. So Roddy, I'll show you. So if you see the scan tool, it says hood open switch is open. Right, Roddy, take that connector away and we'll go up to there. And the display actually said hood open. Right. Is that disconnected? Oh. And it says hood switch open. It's not showing it in the display anywhere. This is crazy. Hood switch.
Showing it?
No, showing it. That's it in your hand. Just plug it back in, man. Oh, for goodness sake. Well, at least it was showing up there before, and it's not showing anymore, so just leave the switch in. So when it said hood switch open, that's good. That means the bonnet is down, it's closed. So we've bridged it back out with a split pin, and it said hood open switch closed. But if you see up there, it says hood door open. So you can't bridge this one out. You've got to leave it open circuit. Right, I'll show you it again. So there's this. So just pull that out, Roddy. And it says hood switch open. And more importantly, it disappears from up there. Leave it.